Geeks Assembled.
Hi, Geeks Assembled. It's Chase Masterson from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Live long and prosper. And thanks for supporting the Pop Culture Hero Coalition. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at our website, popcultureherocoalition.org. We're standing against bullying, and we appreciate your support.
Hello, and we are Geeks Assembled, and we're in another festive mood. So, I think Susan's showing. Is it a Santa or is it a sock? Oh, it's a little Santa. Yes, today we are going to be discussing a 1954 musical comedy starring Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye. We are talking Irving Berlin's White Christmas. So around our little gathering here, and we'll get their first take on this movie. So we'll go to Susan first, because she's raring to go. Over to you, Susan.
Okay, well, I had not seen the beginning of this movie until today, really. And so I didn't know it started in the middle of World War II, but there it was in the middle of World War II, and the general had been like booted or something, and so, or was being discharged, and honorably discharged, sent home, and another general was taking his place, and the other general didn't want to have any entertainment at the front, because even though there were superstars in amongst the soldiers, they didn't want anything to distract or to draw fire. And that was wrong, because Danny Kaye and, Bing Crosby and stuff. So we moved next to this exciting period of time where the Wallace, and I can't remember the other guy's name is, the Bob and Phil thing is, they're growing and growing and growing in popularity and in stardom. They're in Variety and in the New Yorker and in the New York Times, and they're on Broadway, and they're doing this and they're doing that. It's a huge one thing, which was really cool. And then they got their act together, and then they met these female, another double act of women, and anyway, it got, eventually the Phil and one of the ladies was, they pretended like they got engaged, and so it was to put pressure on Bob and the other lady to get engaged and get married and have children and leave them alone. It went through a long period of interesting twists and turns, and doing a show and not doing a show. And the general's lodge in Vermont was, struggling, and so eventually they needed to do something. So they got all the soldiers to come up and attack, and they did it on a television show, and it was all these little plots and plans and stuff that they were all about, and everything was kind of, there was dancing, it was lots of dancing, and it was very pretty. And eventually, when all the soldiers showed up at the lodge, it started to snow, and you got your White Christmas, and there's the song. It wasn't a story entirely about White Christmas. It wasn't about White Christmas all through the whole thing. It was about these two couples, or these two double acts, because only one were actually, falling in love with each other until those first two fell in love with each other. The other two didn't. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those cheesy things that they used to do. in the 40s and 50s that just was like, ugh. I don't know. Anyway, so here's Alex.
Okay. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that, of course, it's a movie, and these were also the movies that kept the long tradition of seeing a feature, matinee, cartoon, before everything started to be shown on television or edited for the internet or whatever it was. It's very pretty. They did film it in a new way. The colors are very vibrant. Basically, you have two singing troops, male and female, and they are in love with each other, but there's a lot of tropes. There's a lot of, okay, I'll do it. If I have to pretend to break my leg, I'll do it. And so I don't know if this is the beginning of this sort of I Love Lucy, Ozzie and Harriet, Father Knows Best type of ambiance. Some of the songs I found a little incongruous, but I do like Urban Berlin, and I do think he's a good songwriter. Of course, the dancing is good. You have to remember this was from the 1950s, so I'm already comparing it to Singing in the Rain and South Pacific. Of course, this movie does make a lot of money, This White Christmas, and it is based on a song, so I guess it's a huge marketing ploy if you really want to be cynical about it. But it's still a good movie, but I noticed some of the lines have been used like 1,000 times in other sitcoms by now, if not a million. So that's the other thing too. I mean, one of the semi-ironic things in the Western world is once a trope works, and once a piece of dialogue works, it somehow gets recycled even before all the reboot fever that we've had for the last 12 years. It gets recycled. But it looks good, the music is good, the dancing, of course, is great. That was well before disco and all that.
Oh my gosh, beautiful dancing.
Of course, it was surprising all the underwear that you saw as they were twirling.
You
but
would
again, it could be worse. Well, I mean, anybody can look. It's right there on the screen. But, but it was classy. They did have one woman in the movie for about 2 minutes. What was her name? The woman from Singing in the Rain. That they had to dub her voice because it was so New York. It was so New York. Isn't everybody? All that. So, so they had a little bit of that. But, I mean, it's a nice Christmas, movie. I prefer It's a Wonderful Life. But, again, maybe people don't want to see, sometimes you want to see a silly movie or a musical. You don't want morality put into it as much. But I also noticed there was a lot of code. There was a lot of slang. There was a lot of colloquialism as well. Mm-hmm. Like Mother Hen. And I went, oh, my God. So even from 1950s, they were still using it. They just didn't use it. As far as I know, they didn't use it in college in the 1950s. But I know that they used it in the 80s and the 90s. Mother, hen mother, dead mother, or whatever. So it's a good movie. It's not one of my favorites. I do like Ray Conniff. They played a lot of his music in the background, or his medleys in the background. I'd rather watch It's a Wonderful Life or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And by the way, guys, while we're on the subject, could you please stop putting politics in everything? Come on, guys. This is 1954, not 2018 or 2019. Stop putting politics in everything and just enjoy it. And if you don't like it, don't watch it or don't support any company that has it. I mean, hell, isn't it the same 6 Christmas movies every year? Miracle on 34th Street and It's a Wonderful Life and Charlie Brown Christmas. And then they're complaining about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's a cartoon, relax. And plus, he won in the end anyway, so what is all the complaining about?
Okay. We got
that. I know, but it's annoying.
Well, I totally agree. Leave all politics out of the films and songs. Baby, It's Cold Outside. It's a song. Please don't ban the songs. Let's go over to Geeks Assemble's very own Santa Claus, Mr. Christmas himself, Stephen Price, what are your opening thoughts on this?
Opening thoughts of it, I was bored. I hated the movie. I thought, what the hell am I watching? Song after song after song. I don't like musicals. I mean, I like Tommy. That was a bit different. But this, no. There's no Christmas spirit in it or nothing. I turned it off when he started singing on the train part. I went to sleep.
So you never saw the Christmas part then?
I see.
So
I see him singing White Christmas, and I was about it.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't cope with it any longer.
It is all set. It is set at Christmas. Yeah. Okay, we'll swiftly on from Mr. Grinch to another Mr. Grinch and Brian.
Yes, hello. To me with Mr. Grinch here. My thoughts upon within this film. Well, me personally, of me being a first viewer of this film, because I never saw this film before until today. So, being a first viewer, I actually liked this film. I thought it was a classic movie, and well, of course it's a classic movie because it's set in the 50s. So, but well, the movie itself is not is it the 40s, but it came out like around the 50s. But it is a classic. It's a well written and well filmed of a movie. I absolutely enjoyed it. The music was great. For because I never really see too much musicals before. Like I haven't seen any like any really musicals. Just a couple, maybe a couple, but judging by with this being a bit of a Christmas movie, it didn't really feel like a Christmas movie throughout courses of the film. I mean, just maybe a little bit, but not as much. But I I still enjoyed it. It was I it kind of, since it had like took place like during a war, like was it World War I? Oh, World War II. Okay, yeah, World War II. So that I kind of enjoyed and loved the most, because it really reminded me of my two late grandfathers that I had, and I really appreciate that and love that the most. Um, so, but yeah, it's a nice, enjoyable film, and I think you should at least watch it maybe once or twice per year for Christmas. So, that being said, I think I'll head over for Mr. Grinch's opening thoughts. No, I'm just kidding. But no, okay.
Don't know, oh, right, okay. Well, me personally, I'm a big fan of the Road 2 movies with Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. So I'm a big fan of Crosby. Brilliant crooner. And I'm a very big fan of Danny Kaye. I love every movie he's ever been. You wouldn't have expected it to work, but it does. I know Danny Kaye wasn't the first choice to play the part of Bill. I think it was Fred Astaire to begin with, but he couldn't do it. Yeah, I enjoyed this. As you say, it starts off in World War II in Europe on Christmas Day. I think most of the events, as the years go by, are all set at a Christmas time. But I say, beginning at Christmas and it ends at Christmas. The music's brilliant in it. The dance routines are awesome. I mean, you've Rosemary Clooney, yes, George's aunt, played one of the sisters. Was it Vera-Ellen played the other, who couldn't sing for Toffee, so they had to have her voice dubbed. But she's one hell of a dancer, and she proved it in this. And as I say, for me, it works so well. I mean, yeah, okay, you say it didn't feel Christmas halfway through it or until the end or whatever, but it was setting through Christmas. And yeah, as Brian said, it felt like a classic Christmas, because you don't really get these days classic Christmas feeling movies. You don't get that feel though these days from the modern movies. And this is why these movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s work so well. And you can see why they were so successful. Yeah, Danny Kaye in this just proves how versatile he was as a singer, dancer, comedic actor. You know, his facial expressions, and Bing Crosby seemed to be enjoying himself with him, because I've read and heard that he sometimes didn't even communicate with the actors in other movies. He just used to go separate ways and just sit down and read a book and go to sleep. Never used to mingle and socialise. But he seemed to be enjoying himself in this movie. Yeah, I enjoyed this. It makes you feel Christmassy when you get to the end of the movie. So we'll go for favourite moments or things you didn't like about it, and we'll work our way backwards. Brian. I caught you off guard there, didn't I?
Yeah, just a little bit. But,
I saw you zoning out.
no, I'm multitasking at the moment. But my favorite favorite moments, I think, within the film would probably have to be well, it probably would have to be the music. I think I know. I mean, I know that it's not really a particularly other like favorite moments or type of thing, but I think the music is generally my favorite thing within the film. It because I like music. I'm a music guy, but I think I think the song like the music that was sung and written for the film was just absolutely so well done, and the performance was amazing that I really, really enjoyed the music. But as a favorite moment, I think would probably have to be favorite moments. Probably have to be the um. Probably would have to be at first one. Would probably be have to be at the beginning, from where uh from the two main leads, from where they dress up as they dress up in the women's costumes at the done opening shows and within the shows and everything. I thought that was extremely funny, and I thought that was funny and crazy and everything. And so I think that's my first favorite moment. My second favorite moment would probably for when Bob is trying to get in contact with Ed Harris. It's Ed Harris, right? Wait, who's the talk show host? Anybody?
Ed Harrison. Yes, you're right.
Okay, Ed Harrison. Yeah, Ed Harrison. When he took get in contact with him so he could put on a show for the main head general, and I thought that was a little nice touch. And another second favorite scene of mine. And lastly, I think my final favorite scene was the finale Christmas show. And then at the end, you also see it starts to finally snow within the little town that they're in. So I think so that is just so well done and a little nice touch within the film. So yeah, I think those are my favorite moments and favorite performance, like the favorite performances as well within the film.
Oh, cool. I'm glad that you've enjoyed it, right? Since it's your first time watching it, so I like it. That's what this group's about. Right, we'll go over to Stephen Price. He's now appearing in Swansea as Father Christmas. So let's go and see what he has to
and appearing in. I enjoy the song White Christmas. I think it's very, excellent, and Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, good singers. But the film is not for me. I don't like dancing at all. It reminded me of when they burst out in the song, those dreadful Elvis Presley songs. Those movies he made, Oh, I can't really say a favorite moment. I'd say where he was singing White Christmas and the buildings came down. I did like that bit. I just couldn't watch the Beyond the Train. I just it must have been me. I must have been feeling tired after work this morning and on my bike in the rain the 14th day. So there we go.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Stephen. Over to the two people on the love seat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I mean it looks great. It's a good movie if you love musicals. It's one of the classics. Not as much fun or as pleasant as Singing in the Rain and a couple other ones. Like I said, the dancing was great. I mean, I wish they actually really brought that back as a regular method because tap was always good. And it really has sort of died out. And then it sort of made it to hip-hop-like with a little bit of tap left. Like I said, as far as the actual movie, no, it's a little bit gimmicky. It's a little bit too many tropes that I've seen before. And,
Any of your favorite tropes?
No, like I mentioned, the New York talking and the old boy brother and the sarcastic, the guys are sarcastic while the, women are talking sort of in code. But, I mean, it's a musical, but even so, it's made a lot of money. I mean, it's made over 60 million. So somebody must love it. It's not me, but.
All right, I guess my favorite moment was Bob in New York, and he runs into, what's her name, and their romance really starts because big part of this thing is the romance in this, and I guess that's what I always get caught up in is the romance of these these 50s and 40s movies because they are pretty sweet. I mean, not saccharine sweet, but pretty really honestly sweet. And yeah, so that would have to be my favorite moment out of this entire film. I do like honor the soldiers and everything that went in World War II, but I have my focus on this film.
How did I know you'd be going down the romance route? Yeah, there's a few things in this what I do like. I mean, the scene where Crosby and Kay are doing the sisters routine on stage with the blue feathers. I mean, that is very good. And it wasn't meant to be in the film. Apparently, they were just messing around in front of the crew, and the director filmed it. And when I was watching it, I was thinking that because you could see Crosby laughing and sort of Danny Kaye sort of cracking up. So, and the director liked it so much he put it in the movie. Good, it's a good scene. You say the dancing is brilliant. You say with Vera-Ellen, and her dance partner in the movie went on to bigger things. George Chikaris, who later went on to one of the lead roles in West Side Story movie. But he's uncredited in this, but he was their dance partner all the way through this movie. Yeah, I like it from beginning to end. And it is a good team up. Whoever thought, let's get Kay with Crosby. Yeah, it works so well. Bit dubious about Rosemary Clooney falling in love with Bing Crosby in the movie, seeing as she was only about 23 and he was 51 at the time. But just forget all that. Just enjoy the movie as it is. Yeah, we'll go over that. But yeah, it is some very good scenes, and also the lodge where the general was, the holiday lodge, was the same lodge what was used in the earlier movie, Crosby Holiday Inn, where he actually first sang in the movie White Christmas. So there's a little bit of trivia. I'm full of it.
That was in black and white though, right?
That was in Black Holiday Inn, was 1942, I think. And he sang White Christmas in that movie. And they used the same lodge as in this movie. Spooky. What a coincidence. Yeah, it's just a fun family Christmas movie. So we'll go to final says and scores, and we'll go back again, this time with the love seat in rotation. Over to you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm glad you chose this too. Let's see. My final say is, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And I'll give it a 10.
Well, romance aside, again, remember this was a musical. I'd rather be watching Singing in the Rain. I think it's a little bit more realistic. I mean, like I said, it looks good. The dancing's good. The songs are okay. The dialogue's okay. I'd rather have Singing in the Rain. So I'm going to give this an 8 for effort, and that's all.
Hey, eight's a good score in my book. We'll go over to Mr. Price. I don't think it's going to be an 8, but let's have a look.
I'm dreaming of a rainy Christmas.
You know you're not.
The rain is always here.
You after whenever.
Yeah, I give the movie about 6 out of 10.
Oh, well, that's not bad. 6. Okay, right. We'll go to Brian now. What's his final say and score?
Right. So my final say and score for this film would probably have to be a 7 out of 10 for this movie. It's 7 out of Christmas.
Yes. Have you ever thought of asking your parents for singing lessons for Christmas? Because I think you may need them.
I was told I
Great.
have a wonderful voice.
Oh, they were being kind. Um, me, I'm going to give the. I said I do like the collaboration of Kay and Crosby. Good songs, comedy works. There are better Christmas movies out there. So for that reason alone, I'm giving it a 8.75. Just a tad down from a 10. But I still love this movie. So I'd like to thank all you guys for joining us in this festive little chat. Oh, she's been on the eggnog already. But if you like this, please comment below. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down. And if you want to join us, just get in touch with the group and we'll see what we can do. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we've got a page, we've got a group. We're all over the place. So until next time, hope you all have a merry little Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.